Hello, many thanks for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. The Addis-based diplomatic community has commended Ethiopia's decision to offer 1 billion trees to neighboring countries as part of its Green Regional Integration Plan. They have also vowed to stand by Ethiopia in its determination to make the East African nation greener and more climate resilient. The diplomatic communities have been briefed on the third edition of Ethiopian Green Legacy Initiative. Shifarao Lago attended the event and filed the following report.
Ethiopia has been resolute to restore its greenery, which has been lost for a number of reasons. Part of this initiation is the Green Legacy Initiative, which has been spearheaded by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. This initiative will plant 6 billion trees this rainy season across the country. It will also go beyond Ethiopia with additional 1 billion trees to neighboring countries as part of the move to create a green Africa.
For our neighboring countries, how do we distribute? To South Sudan, we use our river corridor, which is transboundary, the so-called Baro-Akobo River. In that, together with our brothers and sisters in South Sudan, we're targeting to plant 91 million. In Sudan, in Abai River, about 356 million, Eritrea 29, Djibouti 9 million, Somalia 129 million, Kenya 386 million. Total target is 1 billion.
Ethiopia donating trees to the neighboring countries, 1 billion trees, goes towards strengthening integration of the East African region. Another billion in the neighborhood. I'm from Kenya. It's going to be wonderful.
Ethiopia thinks about its neighbors, take care of everybody. So it means, and it is obvious for me, that my country also must support this project, and all of us need to be together in this.
This is not only the task of the government, the task of the Ethiopian people, but also should be a task of the people in the world. I think Ethiopia can initiate this green legacy not only in Ethiopia, but also in the region and in African continent. And if it is possible, Ethiopia have to sound their voice to the world to keep our earth green and then keep plants in everywhere in the world.
Ethiopia is the most important country in the Horn of Africa, let's say the largest, is the second largest population in Africa, and I think it is a very important and generous act that the Ethiopian people are doing towards a country where there are, steady droughts. I'm thinking, for example, about Somalia, and that is very dry, very desertic, very warm. This is a very important activity that Ethiopia is doing and showing itself generous towards its neighborhood. After all, this is our planet. It is a kind of human done things that we have borders. These are activities that go beyond borders.
This action has also galvanized diplomatic communities in Ethiopia to plant more trees.
Actually, I personally, I'm admire of Dr. Abiy efforts, what he does for country, what he does for people, and he tries to unite all nations on this very important for everybody problem, because nature must be renewed and every one of us should help it.
I really appreciate what Ethiopian government initiated, and then we always support it. In 2019, we planted about 100 trees. In 2020, we also planted trees in the Embassy of Indonesian compound. And also this year, we are going to plant another trees. And in fact, not only the youth, business people, but also the students. Even the student from Adama, they came to our embassy about 2 weeks ago. They planted the trees. And that is also one of our programs. And we always support the the program of the government of Ethiopia.
This is really the reply that we should give, not only in Ethiopia, but in the whole world. I think that's the time we take care of our planet, and we will stand ready and close to the Ethiopian authorities in order to fulfill this dream, to see Ethiopia green.
When you talk of trees, you are talking about life. Trees, you are talking about life. So the initiative is very good. The legacy of 6 billion trees is a lot of trees, but we can never have enough trees on the African continent. There are so many issues. So the more trees we plant, the better for us. For Ethiopia, particularly here, it will make Ethiopia greener. It will be a lot of source for water, and a very good initiative.
Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demek Amakonnen says Ethiopia will conduct the second filling of the GERD as per schedule. Demek made the remark while speaking at a virtual meeting entitled Equitable Use of the Nile. Demek said the AU-brokered meeting should continue as it is the only means of resolving the impasse surrounding the hydropower dam on the Nile River. Egypt and Sudan are attempting to exert unnecessary pressure on Ethiopia through different means, including the internationalization and politicization of technical issues, which will only undermine trust among the three countries, he added. The webinar was organized by Ethiopian embassies accredited to neighboring countries and the Great Lakes region, jointly with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia. Delivering remarks, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Republic of South Sudan, Deng Dao Deng, said the GERD is a peace project that will benefit all in the region. With this understanding, he said the South Sudanese Parliament will soon ratify the Nile Basin Cooperative Framework Agreement, which outlines rights and obligations for the development of the Nile Basin water resources. He expressed his hope that the tripartite negotiation will be concluded with a mutually beneficial agreement, adding that the riparian countries should have been part of the consultation since the river basin is a shared resource.
Hi, my name's Brooke Thomas Hafterwind. I was born and raised in the UK. I do not like what the Egyptians are doing to Ethiopia. This is my dam.
It's my dam.
It's my dam. It's my dam. It's my dam.
It is my dam.
It is my dam. It's my dam.
You're watching Addis News Hour. Strengthening public diplomacy between Ethiopia and Indonesia is said crucial to boost up their multifaceted bilateral cooperation. The 2021 Indonesia-Ethiopia Friendship Golf Tournament has been held here in Addis today with the aim of increasing people-to-people ties. Jerusalem Betha reports.
The close ties between Indonesia and Ethiopia started, among others, by the presence of the Ethiopian delegation to the Asian African Conference in Bandung in 1955. The relationship between Indonesia and Ethiopia is one of the most important relations in the region of Africa, and it has been growing in trade and investment, socio-cultural and people-to-people ties from time to time. Through the initiative by Indonesian Embassy in Ethiopia, the 2021 Indonesia-Ethiopia Invitational and Friendship Golf Tournament has been held here in Addis on Saturday with the aim of strengthening people-to-people ties between the two nations. This golf tournament is one of the events to commemorate the 60 years of bilateral relation between Ethiopia and Indonesia, which established in 1961. At the ceremony, Mulaling Asfaw from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia said the bilateral cooperation among the two nations is growing, and this sport event is thought to further cement the public diplomacy for mutual benefit.
The two countries have achieved for the last 6 decades a lot of social, economic and political achievements. This golf tournament also will create among this, or apart from government to government engagement, this people to people engagement, as well as there are different ambassadors coming here, there are different people coming here, some officials also coming here, so this will help us to engage in public to public relationship. Always when we are engaging with some country, we should have to have the comprehensive approach, people to people, business to business, and the last people to people also. That's very important, so that this public engagement will help us to increase or to enhance our bilateral relationship to the next level high.
Indonesian ambassador to Ethiopia on his part said heightening people-to-people ties is at the heart of elevating other bilateral relations between countries.
The relationship between the two countries is not only between government to government. The role of the non-government actors to boost and to develop and to encourage our two bilateral relations, very, very important. So this golf tournament will connect our heart, Indonesian heart and Ethiopian heart. So this is just a connecting Indonesian people and Ethiopian people to make the relationship better and stronger.
Addis-based ambassadors from different countries to Ethiopia also took part in the golf tournament.
Well, I'd like to join celebrating 60 years of relations between our friends, great friends from Indonesia and Ethiopia. But under the COVID, it's very difficult to have so many people in a closed area. But here we can go outside, enjoy the beautiful weather and the beautiful air, and mingle with the people. I think it's a great idea.
Sport is a matter to join people and to make new friends. In fact, every time I changed my post abroad, I try to get enroll to some sport club in order to make friends, to know people. Yes, absolutely. Sports is the best way to make friends and to promote a friendship.
Best golfers have been awarded by the organizer of the tournament.
Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs says Ethiopia seeks to heighten ties with Brazil to cooperative partnership level. Ethiopia and Brazil conducted on Friday their second bilateral political consultation meeting covering a range of regional and multilateral issues of common concern. They in particular assessed the investment cooperation and facilitation agreement, which was signed to encourage investments and bilateral economic cooperation. Cooperation in peacekeeping missions and judicial matters related to police work and transfer of sentenced persons were also points of discussion between the two sides. Speaking about construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam and the tripartite negotiation, Ambassador Redwan said Egypt and Sudan are trying to deny Ethiopia its right to equitably and fairly utilize its water resources. Ambassador Kenneth Nobrega of Brazil, for his part, said Brazil understands Ethiopia's critical role in Africa and wants to create strong ties with the country to boost relations with the rest of the continent. Known personalities, community activists, civic organizations, and celebrities gathered in Addis Ababa to say no to external pressures. They chanted various slogans such as, "The dam is my money," "Abai is my river," "Abai is our grace," "Ethiopia will not kneel." Take a look at this.
We're here today to show our solidarity with all Ethiopian citizens around the world, to show that our independence and our sovereignty, which is in our history, should be maintained and respected by all nations around the world. As it's known, Ethiopia is the only independent country in the world. And today we're seeing some orders coming to Ethiopia into twisting the hands of the government and the policymakers. So we're saying hands off Ethiopia. all Ethiopians around the world, please make your statements and show your unity. Even though we have differences in this transitional time, we stand together, as our history shows, when it comes to foreign influence.
The event, according to Zaleka, is to stand against foreign intervention in Ethiopia's internal affairs.
Today, we're proclaiming that all other governments who are trying to influence and interfere in our internal affairs, please, hands off Ethiopia. One. Number two, we have a few transitional moments now. There is an election, and there is the filling of the dam. This dam is our Adwa of this generation. So this generation is determined to finance it, build it, and finish it. This is to come out of poverty by our own survival, by our own insistence. So nobody can stop this. Please cooperate with us, as historically we're the most diplomatically connected country in Africa to all of the world, from USA to Great Britain, France, Italy, all of them. So let's cherish that relationship that is very historical and long-term from long time ago. So from today on, we ask all Ethiopians around the world and in the country here nationally to make a noise, show your civility without any disturbance or anything, just to tell the world that we're all united when it comes to the development and the democratic process establishment in Ethiopia.
Politicians say Egypt and Sudan are trying to maximize interest on Abai River, taking the advantage of instabilities they are inciting in Ethiopia. The current calm situation of the GERD dispute is probably because Egypt is busy engaging itself in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Sintayo Tamrat reports.
Politicians told ETV English that Egypt and Sudan are tirelessly trying to cause instabilities in different parts of Ethiopia. The two countries want to maintain colonial agreement which allows almost all of the Nile water to them.
Egypt and Sudan think that they can actually arm twist and coerce Ethiopia to sign a legally binding agreement for them to maintain what they call their historical share of the Nile. Unfortunately, Ethiopia did not participate in those previous agreements.
Dima also says Egypt and Sudan are causing conflicts in an attempt to arm twist Ethiopia to sign a binding agreement on GERD issues.
Just to give you one example, after the 1974 revolution, when the emperor was overthrown, Somalia tried to seize the eastern and southern parts of Ethiopia and waged war on Ethiopia because it felt that Ethiopia was in a transition, it was weak, and that they could achieve their long-cherished ambitions during that period. It is the same now. And
another politician commented on the current calm situation of GERD dispute, saying it is probably because the main actor, Egypt, could be busy for being engaged in Israel-Palestine conflict, and Egypt will be back soon. It is done with the assignment in the Middle East.
I have a feeling, in fact, the Israelis have sensed that the Egyptians are doing something, behind their backs, and there has been, I think, some kind of press release, or I think I saw a statement by the Israeli spokesman condemning, in fact, the activities of Egypt. So Egypt now is more or less engaged, in the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and its attention has been drawn now towards this issue. But they haven't forgotten really the GERD issue anyway. They will come back to it once the Palestinian and Israeli problem cools down.
There is no need of mediation, Dima says. The three countries can talk and negotiate because there is already an agreement reached in 2015 among the three countries, he added, referring to the Declaration of Principles Agreement.
Correspondents of foreign media said journalists are duty-bound to respect laws of the land and ethics of their profession while reporting on events. Ethiopia has recently revoked the press credentials of a foreign journalist working for the New York Times. This comes after authorities issued a warning letter to a reporter of the Associated Press. Daniel Kasahun has more on that.
It's to be recalled that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's 2019 Nobel Peace Prize citation included praise for his discontinuing media censorship and banning of a number of media outlets and release of dozens of journalists. Grum Chala, who is chief correspondent of the China Global Television Network CGTN, pointed out that the ongoing reform in Ethiopia has brought positive changes for journalists.
There are indeed, at this time around, changes to help the media operate much better than before. This is a fact that nobody can deny. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government needs to be appreciated for opening doors which have been closed for a long time, for letting journalists operate in a much better way.
Regard to the media landscape over the past few years, since the reformist government came to power, we have seen some positive changes, which includes the media sphere, specifically the online media.
In connection to abuses of rights by correspondents of media professionals, Dolam Sisai, who is freelance reporter for foreign broadcasters, said journalists are duty-bound to respect laws of the land and ethics of their profession to serve their purpose accordingly. It's to be recalled that Ethiopia has recently revoked the press credentials of a foreign journalist working for the New York Times. Earlier in the week, authorities issued a warning letter to a reporter of the Associated Press for releasing disinformation regarding the extension of the general election.
Nobody is saying that an international media cannot criticize the Ethiopian regime, Ethiopia, how it operates. Nobody is saying that Ethiopia cannot be looked at in a different angle or lens. That is what freedom of speech means. That is what freedom of operation in the media platform means. But targeted attack to the country, like the one we've seen in the 1980s famine of the country, which still left us with scars, is happening now.
We don't expect CNN or AP to serve the Ethiopian people. The primary goal objective of the CNN or Associated Press is to serve their own client interest or their owner's interest.
They also said Ethiopia needs to have a strong check and balance mechanism to tackle the adverse effects of fake news.
The critical thing Ethiopia needs, and the mass media authority, with all due respect, needs is a mechanism to perform check and balance so that this can be a better business for the future.
They also recommend rewarding journalists who are acting responsibly and respecting the laws of the land.
Welcome back again. The southern region of Ethiopian Electric Power said the burglary that happened to the transmission tower from Shashamene to Hawassa caused power interruption in few southern cities, including Hawassa, the capital of the region. The robbery came about in border areas between Oromia and Sidama regional states, where parts of 5 transmission towers, each of which cost 1.5 million birr, have been stolen. It thus caused blackout in most parts of several cities. The transmission tower has been supplying to 8 power grids, including Hawassa, and extended to Moyale. Head of operation of the southern region, Alemayo Zeberga, confirmed that the power outage is because of the stealing of the transmission tower. He further noted that activities will be underway to fix the problem in a short time. German ambassador to Ethiopia Stefan Auer expressed Germany's commitment to work cooperatively with Ethiopia to realize Ethiopia's 10-year plan in the energy sector. The ambassador said this while German Church School in Addis Ababa inaugurated a solar energy project today. German ambassador to Ethiopia and Bavarian state representative Sigurd Roth have launched the 2-year solar panel project. Speaking on the occasion, Germany Church School principal Teklu Tafes has said the solar panel generates 19,000 kilowatt electric power and it is used in the school. Take a listen to him.
ወደ ከ60 በላይ ፓነሎች ትልልቅ ፓነሎች የተገጠሙለት እና ወደ 19000 ኪሎዋት
Some 60 huge solar panels have been installed in this school. This solar panel can produce 19,000 kilowatt electric power from renewable means of energy. All our power comes from this solar panel system. We are hopeful that this means of energy has an advantage to minimize government's electric burden. Now, we can get electric access without power interruption.
ለመንግስትም ይቀንሳል ብለን ተስፋ እናደርጋለን.
German Church School has been serving for the last 5 decades, and currently over 800 students, including ones with disabilities, are attending in the school. German ambassador to Ethiopia, for his part, said Germany is always committed to work cooperatively with Ethiopia to realize the 10-year perspective plan in the energy sector. Anchor companies from Germany are investing in renewable energy sector in Ethiopia, the ambassador added.
German technology and the cooperation between our two countries can and will help attaining the ambitious goals of the 10-year plan. Our expertise in decentralized energy solutions already helps providing green energy all over Ethiopia. For example, German turbines are part of the grid, and German companies are providing solar, wind power, as well as distribution systems in Ethiopia. On the governmental level, one of the key areas of our development cooperation is the renewable energy sector. That is the strategic approach which needs to be supplemented and maybe sometimes nudged on by events like the one today. From tomorrow on, this school, this church, will be using green energy.
The Council of Ministers has unanimously made a decision today allowing Ethiopian Communications Authority to grant a new nationwide telecom license to the Global Partnership for Ethiopia, which offered the highest licensing fee and a very solid investment case. With over $8 billion total investment, this will be the single largest FDI into Ethiopia to date, the Prime Minister said in a Twitter post. The desire to take Ethiopia fully digital is on track, he said, thanking all parties that have taken part in this very transparent and effective process. Ethiopian Communications Authority, for its part, congratulated Global Partnership for Ethiopia for being selected as a winner of a new telecom service provider. The authority said this marks the beginning of a new era in our country and the government's commitment for a quality communication service to citizens and businesses.